good news. So we usually call menopause yoga the second spring. They call it like that in Chinese medicine because they don't see the menopause as a negative thing. They see it as an opportunity to fulfill past dreams and to nurture ourselves, to do things that we love. And I think that's a great approach to have for the menopause. I will tell you a little bit of my story. I don't want to be too boring, but I decided to study yoga in 2019 after 10 years of practice. Before that, I have an accounting background, so it's a complete change of professions, but it has been very well received in my life, in my family, and for those who are closest to me, because I think yoga brings balance to whatever the environment we are. I have a 200-hour certification with Yoga Campus from London, and I also have qigong certifications, qigong for yoga teachers and qigong for the 5 elements. And of course, I have the certifications to teach menopause yoga. And very important, I have insurance to teach online and in person as well with this great insurance, which is Alternative Balance. I found out some quotes about the menopause which are quite inspiring. Some of them are funny. I found the Oprah's quote very inspiring. I will read it loud. It says, "So many women I've talked to see menopause as an ending, but I've discovered this is your moment to reinvent yourself after years of focusing on the needs of everyone else. It's your opportunity to get clear about what matters to you and then to pursue that with all of your energy, time, and talent." So that's very motivating. There is one quote which is funny, I found. It says, "Menopause, a pause while you reconsider men," which is playing with the words of the actual word. But I consider it as a pause to reconsider actually everything. And then in one of the quotes, you may see my name there. And I wrote, "It is never too early to prepare and learn about the menopause. In fact, we are told about our first menstrual cycle very early in life, but rarely we are informed there will be a last one too." So I think they are both equally important, our first and our last. And it's never too early to start learning about the menopause. As I said, menopause yoga is a style of yoga that helps women manage menopausal symptoms. But the most important part for me of menopause yoga is the positive approach, because it views the menopause as an opportunity for self-care, self-realization, and personal growth. Most women will experience physical symptoms during the menopause, which usually occurs between the 50s, 51, 52, 53, but it could happen anytime between the 30s and the 60s for different reasons. Every woman's symptoms will be different, but even if the symptoms are similar, solutions could be different for each person. So we need to be careful about that. Sometimes we think because we have some symptoms, if we do this, that's going to clear, but it depends on each individual. So that's something we can talk later. Usually there's no enough time to talk about it during the yoga class because it's only an hour long. But for workshops or series, we have more time and we can actually talk about these different treatments for menopause. And then the part below, it's very important. It says the menopause can mask serious underlying health conditions. Always seek professional medical advice. These are some of the symptoms of the menopause. If you want to have just a quick look, some of them are the very common ones. Other ones you will think, oh, I've never thought there could be a menopause symptom. It's interesting to know. If you want to have a quick look, I will check the chat.
Fun.
Okay, if you had enough time. And of course, most of these are caused because of the hormonal imbalances that we're going through the menopause. The hormones go up and down most of the time, and it's kind of a roller coaster for the body and the mind. But that's something we can talk in another opportunity because it's quite deep. So if you have any questions, please write it in the chat. And otherwise, we can start getting ready for the class. Remember to have the props. The props for today are probably 2 pillows. If you have 3, even better. Blocks, so yoga blocks. You can have water bottles, or you can have books, thick books, ideally the same size. And we'll use a yoga strap or a belt if you have a belt, and a blanket for relaxation, and maybe a towel. It's always good to have handy. And of course, a cup of tea or a glass of water. The other thing I would like to ask, I will stop the share now. If any of you want to turn the camera on, that would be very helpful for me. And if you can accommodate it, position the camera in a way so I can see from the waist down. If I have to choose, thank you, Marqueta. If I have to choose either waist down or waist up, I would ideally prefer to see from the waist down. It's easier for me to know about the alignment if I see the feet. Thank you so much. If anyone else wants to join, feel free. There's no, if you don't feel comfortable, it's okay, but it helps for me if you turn the camera on. Otherwise, it's fine, I understand. I'm thinking I will, if everybody, it's fine, I guess we can start. We can start. I'm just checking the messages. We can start in a few minutes. Okay, someone is imagining the poses. That's good. Visualizations are very powerful as well.
A hammock sounds really nice right now, actually. Oh, there she is.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy the visualization. I'm just going to connect my headphones. If you can let me know if you can hear me well. No, this is not good. I'm having an issue with the... Can you hear me well, Michelle and everyone?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's start sitting in a comfortable position. You can sit in a cushion if you feel comfortable. And let's start moving the body a little bit. So as you inhale, bring the chest forward. And as you exhale, round the back and move back. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Try to synchronize the movement with the breath. The breath is very important to calm the nervous system. And then changing directions. Inhaling forward and exhaling back at your own pace. Now inhale, bring it forward in a straight line, chest forward, relaxing the shoulders. And exhale, rounding the back. Maybe bring the belly button towards the spine and the chin to your chest. Inhaling, bringing the chest forward. Exhaling back. Inhale, bring both hands towards the sky. And then as you exhale, take the right hand to your right hip. I'm mirroring you, so you may see I'm doing the opposite thing, but I'm trying to make it easier for you. So then raise your left hand over your head, lengthening the left side of your body. And maybe inhaling, looking up, and exhaling, looking down. Inhaling, bring it up, and exhaling, look down. Inhaling, bring both hands towards the sky. And exhale, take the left hand to the left hip and take a lateral movement with your right arm over your head. Inhaling, looking up, and exhaling, look down. Inhaling, looking up, and exhaling, looking down. Now inhale, bring both hands towards the sky, and imagine you're trying to get a rope that is going to the sky. Try to go high and high. This creates space between the vertebrae, which is ideal because we're going to forward fold. We're going to go towards the floor with our hands. So as you inhale, you lift the hands again, and exhaling, take both palms towards the floor. Push with your hands back so your hips are going back towards the floor a little bit more. And exhale, empty, empty, empty. When I say that is, I'm trying to say exhale and empty your lungs as much as possible. And when you need to inhale, you slowly release the shoulders and you look up a little bit. And then exhale, push into your hands. And maybe you activate the pelvic floor in a 30% capacity. As you keep exhaling, you bring your belly button towards your spine and maybe your chin to your chest. And when you need to inhale, you slowly release, inhaling and looking forward again. We'll do that one more time. As you inhale, open the chest. And as you exhale, push into your hands. Activate your pelvic floor, belly button towards the spine. Take your chin towards your chest. And try to exhale all the empty, all the dirty air in your lungs, stagnant air that sometimes gets there. And as you release, inhale slowly. Walk with the fingertips towards your legs, lifting your torso up and release. Maybe moving the shoulders a little bit. And now we're going to practice some breathing techniques. Ideally, if you're not seated in pillows, it would be a good idea to raise your hips so your knees are lower than your hips. And try to feel comfortable because we're going to be here for a few minutes. If this is not a comfortable pose, you can actually open the legs, or you can also be kneeling
This is actually very nice, but if you have issues with the knees, may not be ideal for today. But you have options. So we're going to start with diaphragmatic breathing, which it's a breathing that activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It helps us calm anxiety, and it's very useful either for anxiety attacks or even for hot flashes. A hot flash can be caused by hormonal imbalances and the brain not being able to adjust the temperature correctly, but it could also be cause of an anxiety attack or a hard emotion that we cannot balance. So this breathing technique will activate the parasympathetic nervous and it will calm the mind. The diaphragmatic breathing, it's actually focusing on the movement of the diaphragm as we breathe. The diaphragm is the muscle below our ribs, and it has the shape of a dough. And as you inhale, the diaphragm flattens and pushes the internal organs of the abdomen down. That's why our belly rises as we inhale. And then as we exhale, the diaphragm goes up, squishing the lungs, and we exhale carbon dioxide or dirty air out from our mouth or nose. So let's try to practice. As you inhale, feel your chest expanding, visualize your diaphragm going down, your belly rises, and as you exhale, the diaphragm goes up, your lungs get squished, and you exhale the air through your nose or your mouth. Inhaling, feel the chest expanding, belly rises. Exhale, chest to center. Inhaling one more time, feeling the expansion in all dimensions, back and forth to the sides. The lungs expand all the way, front and back, and to the sides. Continue a couple of rounds at your own pace, visualizing your diaphragm, your lungs as you do this. If your eyes are closed, very slowly open your eyes. I'm going to get near. We're going to add the ocean sound to the diaphragmatic breath. So as you inhale, you feel your lungs expanding, your chest opening. And to exhale, we're going to open our mouth. We're going to do the sound of the ocean as we exhale. So it will be something like this. And maybe my microphones are cutting the sound, but the longer you can do the sound of the ocean, the better, because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. The longer the exhalation, the more calm your mind will be. So let's try again. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Another option is to exhale through your nose, but try to still listen to the sound of the ocean. It could happen that the air is doing circles in the back of your throat, and you can still listen to that sound. It's very calming. Again, if your eyes are closed, very slowly open your eyes. And we're going to practice a jaw release exercise. If we are too stressed out, we may hold tension in this part of our jaws. Maybe we have some bruxism or we have pain and we don't know what happened. It's because we are clenching our teeth unconsciously. This releases the tension on the jaw, and it's very easy to do. Basically, we open our mouth very gentle, and we start making circles with the lower jaw towards one side. Just pick a side. It would be something like this. And it may happen that you want to yawn, which is actually the idea of the exercise. Because as we yawn, we release tension. And I practice this during the mornings, and I don't only yawn, my eyes get watery as well. So it's very good to release tension in this part of the face. Now, hoping that we feel calmer than when the class started. If you want, you can close your eyes or you can have a soft gaze towards the floor and think about an intention for today's class and maybe for the day, for the week, and the months to come. And since we are focusing on the menopause and taking the menopause as a second chance to fulfill our past dreams, why don't we think about it? Why don't we think about things that we love to do and how to get more time to do those things that we love? How we can simplify our to-do list, how we can ask for help at home, so we can really do those things that make us happy. And if you don't know what those things are, maybe think about what you love doing when you were a kid. Think about the most important things in your life, what is really important for you. That may give you some ideas, because it's very important to have a reason to wake up in the morning and to go maybe to all our struggles, thinking about that moment in which we're going to do what we really love. It's important. So now take a few breaths, maybe taking your hands towards your chest. And very slowly open your eyes. If you have your pillows under your hips, you may want to remove the pillows and lay down on your mat. For this particular part, please have your belt. If you have a belt, it would be great. If you don't have a belt, I will let you know what to do. Don't worry. Also have some pillows ready, and the blocks maybe on the top of your mat later. Okay? So now let's lay down and have a big stretch, as if you were waking up from a long night, maybe pointing and flexing the feet, lengthening the arms. And then inhale, bend the left knee and hug it towards your chest. Hug the back of the leg. Ideally, you would put the hands behind the thighs, because sometimes we put too much pressure on the knee if we pull down. So I recommend getting the hand below in the back. Inhale, maybe point the foot of the extended leg. If you want, you can lift your torso or you can keep it where it is. And then release the back down and change the legs, lengthening the left leg and bending the right knee. Inhaling, maybe pointing with your left foot. Maybe you want to lift your torso, you can keep it on the floor. And exhale, release. Bending both knees towards your chest. Maybe doing the happy baby pose, you can take your hands to the sole of the feet or your shins, ankles. If you want, you can rock from side to side, massaging the lumbar spine, which is a part of the body that we usually feel. And then release the right foot on the mat. I'm going to grab my belt. If you have the belt handy, please get it. We're going to put the belt on the sole of the feet, on the base of the toes, actually, a little bit lower. And we're going to start lengthening that leg towards our chest. If you don't have a belt, you can grab your calves. Yes. So as we lengthen the muscles, what we could observe is that at the beginning, the muscle wants to contract, and it's called the muscle reflex because the muscle protects itself from a possible risk. But then when the mind gets used to this normal state that the leg is not going to be hurt, then the muscle starts to relax and we can go deeper in the pose. That usually takes from 30 to 1 minute, from 30 seconds to 1 minute to get to. Then very slowly, open the leg towards the left. Option 2, if you don't have a strap, you can put the left hand on the outside of the left side or the left calf. And maybe you want to look in the opposite direction. This is actually a good pose to practice or to do if we have a hot flash. And actually you can open the arm on the side because our extremities are very apart from each other. The area of our body expands and it's easier for the heat to exit the body. It also calms our mind. Once we are in the pose and we let the muscle relax, the mind will also relax too. And very slowly inhaling, bring the leg up towards the sky. Bend the knee and remove the belt from the foot. And take it to the other foot. So the belt on the right foot or hand to the shin. Very slowly start lengthening that leg towards your chest. Trying to connect to your breath. The slower, the better. And then opening that leg again to the side. And maybe you want to look in the opposite direction. And very slowly inhaling, bringing that leg up. And removing the belt from that foot. We're going to put a pillow between our knees. We're going to do a very easy bridge. So pressing into the sole of the feet, lift your hips towards the sky. And maybe you want to exhale and release the hip down. And one more time, inhale, taking the hips up. And exhale, releasing the hips down. Next time you can keep it a little longer on the top. And exhale, bring it down. Now take the knees towards the left. You don't need to go all the way to the floor, and range of motion is something we need to be very careful during the menopause. So if you feel your hips are in pain today, it may not be ideal to go all the way to the floor. You can keep it halfway. And then bring the knees to the sky, towards the sky, and then bring the knees to the other side. And maybe you want to look the other way. Inhaling, bringing the knees up. Help yourself to sit. Actually, we're going to go to child's pose. So maybe you start in all fours. And from all fours, you take the glutes towards your heels. And what we usually do in child's pose is we take the forehead to the floor. Now, imagine you're having a hot flash. This may not be an ideal position to practice. You may be feeling that there's no enough air flowing below your face and you cannot breathe properly. So if you had a block, for example, you can put your head on the block so that raises your head and you can feel actually more air and you feel more comfortable breathing in that position. You can even lift your wrists and take your fingertips to the floor, and that will also give you more space. And you don't need to tell, I guess, in regular yoga classes, you can either go and talk to the professor, the teacher, and say, you know, you're going through this situation, and you will adapt the pose yourself, and they should be totally fine. So why not? I mean, if they don't tell you to put a brick on your face, feel free to do it if you're feeling you're going through a hot flash. The other thing about this is as we put our forehead in a block, we're pressing a marma point on the third eye, the forehead, and it also calms the mind. So it's beneficial in many ways. Now, very slowly, lift your chest, remove the brick, and put it probably on the top of your mat. Now, take your weight towards your hands, tuck your toes under, lift your knees, and walk towards your hands. Once you are on the top of the mat, grab your bricks, and I'm actually going to change cameras so you can see my whole body. Grab your bricks, and we'll practice how to lift the torso from a forward fold. If we are going through osteoporosis, our lumbar spine, if we have osteoporosis, our lumbar spine may be weak, may be in pain. A way to protect the lumbar spine to come out of forward folds is to activate the legs, the glutes, the abdominal muscles, so we lift the torso in a straight line. So as you inhale, press the sole of the feet on your mat. Activate your legs, your glutes, and your abdominal muscles. You open the arms towards the sides, and then keeping that activation on the legs, lift your torso up into a straight line, hands towards the sky. And as you exhale, hands to each side of the body. We usually use the rolling up of the spine. We need to be, it's nothing wrong with that. We just need to be careful not to hang while the spine is rounded, because we tend to put all the pressure on the lumbar spine at that point. And that's something we don't want to do if we have osteoporosis. So let's practice one more time, activating the legs and the abdominal muscles as we come up to standing. But this time we're going to imagine we are between clouds, and it changes the story a little bit. It's more relaxing. So as you inhale, raise your arms through clouds towards the sky. As you exhale, bend the knees and through clouds fall forward. Take your hands to the brick, maybe relax the neck. Inhaling through clouds, lift the spine halfway. Activate your feet, your legs, and your abdominal muscles. As you open the hands and keeping that activation on the legs, lift your chest up. Feel the clouds between your fingers. Palms of the hand touch. And as you exhale through clouds, bring your arms down. So that's one point about how to look after your lumbar spine through menopause. There are also lifting techniques, but those are not yoga related. But I would go through in my series or my workshops regarding that lifting technique. Now let's practice some qigong. I actually call it yoga because it's a mix of a yoga pose and qigong movements. Inhaling, take your left leg back, take it to warrior two. So align front heel to back heel or maybe to the arch of your back foot. And then open your arms parallel to the floor. And warrior two is actually a good pose to notice in which state of mind we are. So if we tend to be thinking about the future for too long, kind of trying to grasp something that we want to happen, we may be feeling anxious. If we're thinking too much about the past, leaning back, we may feel depressed. But if we are here in the now, we are not feeling either depressed or anxious. This is the solution to those feelings. Being now here practicing yoga at this very moment. And now as you inhale, cross your hands in front of your knees and then start lifting your arms up. As you reach your eyes, imagine you're dissipating clouds very slowly. And you start to see everything clearly now. Look beyond your hand. And as you exhale, bend the back knee and lengthen the front knee. And you may see a bigger picture now. You may see more things that you were not paying attention before. And as you inhale, bend the front knee, cross the arms in front of your knee, and then bring the arms up, opening the arms towards the sky as you dissipate clouds. Look beyond your hand and exhale, bend the back knee and lengthen the front knee. So we start to look to a bigger landscape and stop looking in at one point. Sometimes our mind only fixes the thought in that one thing and we forget, and let's continue doing the movement. We forget about other things. Last time. Now bring your right foot in and your left foot out. And let's move to warrior two to the other side. Now, one of the sequences on yoga for menopause is building strength. So we need to build strength in our muscles and in our bones to keep them healthy. One of the things we can do is to hold poses for a minute. We stack bones over other bones, we activate muscles, and we keep it like that for a minute. Actually, this time turn the palms up, and we're going to activate the triceps. So squish the triceps a little bit. So we're going to be here for 10 more seconds to reach that building bone and muscle. We're going to stay for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you inhale, cross the arms in front of your leg. Start dissipating clouds very slowly, as if you are in a slow motion movie. And then exhale, bend the back knee and lengthen the front leg. And inhaling, crossing the arms again. Feeling the time go slower. And exhale, bending the back knee. Inhaling, crossing the arms. And exhale, bending the back knee. Now bend the front knee. Take the left foot in, so the feet are parallel to each other. Take your hands to your hips. Inhale, lengthening the chest. And exhale, fall forward. Option to bring the bricks to the front and stay here. And why do I say that? Because folding forward can cause a hot flash. So if you are feeling you're having a hot flash, ideally you don't lower the head. It's too much blood in the head. But if you're feeling okay, you can keep going all the way down and release the head. You start to take the weight of your body towards the toes, and you feel the heels light as you let the back of the legs relax. And very slowly inhale, lift the chest halfway. Take the hands to your hips, micro bend the knees, activate the legs, the glutes, and the abdominal muscles. Lift the torso in a straight line. And exhale, bend the front knee and step towards the front of the mat. That's amazing. Let's go to the floor. Inhaling, hands to the sky. Exhaling, bending the knees, folding forward, releasing the head down. Now take the left foot back and the right foot back. This is another good pose. We are not going to stay here, but holding plank, it's good for bone strength and muscle strength. Now bend the knees. Very slowly roll the hips down. And let's get into a cobra. We're going to do a pose that is called the hissing cobra. I'm going to get near so you can see. We're going to put the hands in this shape. It's a diamond shape. We're going to, as we exhale, we're going to lower the torso. We're going to lower the head, the forehead on the thumb, where the hairline is. So as we exhale, we're going to exhale and put the head like that. Let me show you how it is. So we put the hands on the mat. And we're going to inhale, push into the hands and maybe lifting the elbows a little bit. So feel free to move forward or back till you find the perfect position, because your head then will have to go there. Inhaling, push into your hands. Activate your legs, your glutes, and your abdominal muscles. Don't lift your elbows too much, because that could be too much for the lumbar spine. So maybe you want to keep the elbows down. To exhale, we're going to do the sound of the cobra. So through the teeth, we're going to let the air come out. It will be something like, and as you exhale, you lower the head and you let the thumb touch the hairline on your forehead. So let's do it one more time. Inhaling, pushing into your hands. Maybe you lift the elbows a little bit. Remember to use your glutes and your legs to protect the lumbar spine. Exhaling. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Now make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. And maybe wiggle your tailbone, your feet, and stay there. Breathe for a few seconds. Very slowly, you're going to roll over so your abdomen is facing the sky. Feel free to do some wipers towards one side and the other one. And then we're going to do a quick relaxation. I would like you, but if you feel like it, I would like you to have one pillow under the knees. And then one pillow between your armpits and your waist. So it will be something like this. And of course, a blanket to cover yourself. Maybe you need a towel under your head. So make sure you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable for relaxation, remove props or add props as you feel. It's going to suit you better. But ideally, it would be something like this. So I have a pillow under my knees, a pillow between my hips and my armpits. So that's a chest opener. Maybe you can have something in the back of the neck. But ideally, if there's no issues with your neck, if you let the neck relax, it's going to be a little bit stronger on the chest, on the upper chest. If you feel uncomfortable at any time, please remove the props. Now, I'm going to guide you through a very short breathing technique, and then I will read you a poem, and then I will mute myself for 2 or 3 minutes, but I won't leave. I will be just in mute, holding the space for you. So inhale very slowly, hold the breath, and exhale very slowly. Inhale very slowly into your chest. Hold it. And exhale. Inhale very slowly to your belly. Hold it. And exhale. Now release the breathing and enjoy your relaxation time. The poem says, Unstoppable by Donna Ashworth. Unstoppable they call her, but I saw her stop. I saw her stop many times. Sometimes I thought she had stopped for good, but no, she always found a way to resurrect, to rise again. Not the same, never the same, each time a little more determined and a little less vulnerable. Unstoppable, they say, but I think it was in the stopping that she finally found her power. Very slowly bring awareness to your breath. Making micro movements with your fingers and toes. Bring awareness to the sounds of the room. And then you can turn towards one side and adopt the fetal position, maybe using your hands as a pillow for a few breaths. And no rush. As you feel comfortable, come up into a sitting position. Rubbing your palms. Take your hands to the opposite shoulders and give yourself and everybody else a big hug. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Hope you feel calmer and less stressed. Namaste.